love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow. Oh, man, you just
Boy,
threw
oh
that
boy.
water bottle down.
Just
What
right there.
happened?
Just resting it right down
Yeah.
there. Just for later.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Deck the Hallmark. It's a big week.
It is.
We're over the hump of the
We
big
sure
week.
are.
It feels
We've
that
passed
way.
the hump day.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
I'm feeling the weight of it.
Yeah, we are.
Feeling good. I'm feeling great, actually. You know why?
Christmas
Why's that?
movie magic.
Christmas movie magic.
Duh.
I played it last night watching the newest Netflix movie, Our Little Secrets. And if you've been wondering, it does work with the Netflix Christmas movies as well as it does
I was wondering.
with Hallmark Christmas movies. This game slaps. It slaps with any movie that you want to do it to. DeckTheHallmark.com/game.
I don't want
DeckTheHallmark.com/game.
to. I mean, Deck the Hallmark's a family show.
DeckTheHallmark.com/game. I didn't say anything wrong.
Slaps
I said what I said, and I meant it.
Any Christmas movie you want to do it.
DeckTheHallmark.com/game is what we're talking about. That's right. Brian, what do you have for the people? You walked in with a whole bucket.
Yeah, in a bucket. It slapped. It was sloshing, actually, the bucket. Yeah, that's...
You just pick any Christmas movie you want to do it to.
Right, and then you whip,
And then
whip
you-
out the game and you can play it.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Or don't. Like, take it out
It doesn't
just
matter. Yeah, it doesn't
easily.
matter.
It doesn't matter if you. Well, it's gonna come. The
freak
nice
anyone
thing is
out.
it comes in the Saran wrap,
It does come wrapped.
and so you gotta open that up,
Yeah.
and then you can play it. Christmas movie magic.
It's not that hard to open, though.
No, it's not.
Nah. Most of the
What did you have though? You wanted to talk
I
about
had,
something?
Like, a bucket, yeah. Something in the bucket was, like, sloshing around.
Yeah, it's a whole bucket.
I had,
of
like,
things.
minnows, I think, in there.
Yeah, but
Minnows.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring minnows into the office?
You going fishing?
I'm not big. I'm trying to decrease the meat as we all. I'm doing a thing here. End of the
You've
year.
never
and
been
so
doing it. I just want to be very clear. Not in,
I'm
like
trying
you've
to focus
talked about
on
doing a
not
thing.
eating as much
You
meat.
have
I don't know.
not-
How
I've
has
done
that
two
been
sm-
going?
You have. Every time I turn around, you're eating a burger. Last time we went to eat, you ate a burger. You don't ever stop it.
I suggested
Get some
it,
help.
actually.
You're like, I think I'm getting a
I was
burger.
like, think
Let him get to it. Let him from
I've
his
been doing
own.
2 smoothies
thing
a week
is,
for
I
a
got-
year almost, aside from vacation weeks. And this guy
Yeah.
has the audacity to say he's given up beef.
Well, I got that tennis elbow. You guys know about that. So I had to
that affected his
rehab
beef
that.
eating. Yeah.
I need the protein. I can't let myself hang there.
Iron in the bloodstream.
So you got
Hemoglobin.
tennis
Oh.
elbow, and your
Yeah, I was-
doctor said eat more red meat.
Well, I know how the body works. I know what I need. So I just took it upon
Listen to
myself.
your body.
Yeah. So I would try to incorporate more vegetable or fish. And so I brought in a bucket of minnows. I thought I'll just eat these. And then we went to lunch instead. So the meat thing's not. Maybe I'll do it next year. You know?
Okay.
Maybe I'll put it
Is
off
that the
a
plan for
little
next
bit.
year? You got anything you're thinking of for
You
next
guys
I was
year?
just
thinking of a
about to
thing?
think. I was just about to ask you. What are we doing next year?
Are we both?
You got to keep the
I
smoothie
like
going?
doing stuff with you because
Yeah,
it holds me. We're
It helps
accountability
you
buddies.
because you'll
'Cause it
look
slaps.
over.
We're accountability buddies.
We are
Accountability
yeah.
buddies.
I'm planning on keeping the 2 smoothies a
Yeah,
week going.
you should
Okay,
add
we can-
something.
Add something. I'm going to try to learn Spanish next year.
What?
Okay, I
That's
don't wanna
my
do
big-
that.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm already. It's unless I can
Oh,
say
Aaron,
it. It
is
isn't.
now a good time for you to talk about your Duolingo
Oh my god!
score
If I have to hear
for,
one more day
for
Holy
2020?
of the Duolingo,
What do you got to tell
I'm in the
people?
top 3%.
Top
of blah, blah, blah.
2%.
Yeah,
Am I right?
I'm in the top 2%
I
of all
said it so
Duolingo
she'd
learners.
correct me.
Top 2%.
Listen, I don't have a lot going on in my life. I don't have kids.
Can
I'm
you
not married.
can you tell us that in French?
No.
Okay, so it means nothing.
You're the top 2%. You can't tell us that in French.
I can read French really well.
Okay.
Could you type
can't
it,
speak it.
and then translate it and then read it to us?
It'd probably be easier than me
Yeah.
trying to speak it.
Boy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
French.
if
Oh,
anybody out
Spanish.
there has
Okay,
any
maybe we should all learn a
French-speaking
language.
friends who want to talk to me, I'd love to be better at that skill.
I'd like to do a thing.
We should do a thing.
We should do a thing.
we should do another
Figure it out.
thing.
Another on top of the smoothies.
Well,
Should we all learn
last year-
Spanish together?
I mean,
a-
listen.
Are
a
we gonna do
thing-
this in Spanish? This podcast? We're gonna
Why
record
not?
it twice.
Si se puede. Let's go.
Me gusta. Is that like?
Me gusta.
Me gusta. Christmas.
Navidad.
No, that's
Navi-
like, though.
Navidad.
That's not love, right?
What is love?
Love. Me encanto.
Me encanto.
Yeah.
Me gusta. Hallmark movies. De La Cinema.
Hallmark.
Although me and
Navidad.
Cantos, I love. Yeah, I mean, if you were talking about something, we don't have to do it right now. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, wait,
listen.
save it for a couple more weeks. We
Yeah.
got the rest of this year to get through.
I've never really I've never really had that urge
Yeah,
to
itch to
learn
learn a
another
language.
language. I'm
well,
sure I'll get there
I
at
just
some
my
point.
mom was
Well, you got all
fluent in
these love
Spanish.
languages.
I'm
so-
still learning English,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, that's fair. My mom was fluent
Yeah,
in Spanish,
right.
and
Yeah.
instead of using that like base of Spanish that I had just from growing up in my house to learn Spanish, I just coasted.
Yeah.
So I just tested out of all of it in college. I never had to try in any Spanish class. I never bothered to actually like
That doesn't sound like
learn
you.
it and be fluent. How dare you? And so now I want to rectify that. So
Hola, me llamo Dan.
that sounds just like me. It's unbelievable. Am I?
God.
Is it me from a different universe in the studio?
Me gusta Hallmark movies, Dan.
No, I don't. No,
Wow.
me gusta.
Wow, how about that?
Put some respect on my accent.
Did you say Encanto?
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
I do Encanto. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Let's talk Deck the Walls.
Yeah.
Shall
Yeah, let's do
we? It originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on November 29th, 2024, and it went a little something like this. Rose, kiss from a rose. Should have saved it till the end when they can start. Dang it. Rose is a busy designer working during the holiday season. She gets a call from her brother, a handyman named Sal, who has big news. He has won the charity design project for the holidays. He asked Rose for some design advice. They have I would say a charming relationship, a little bicker here and there. You love to see it. Yes, he's like, "You're gonna come home," and she's like, "You know I'm not coming home." We then meet Bryson walking out of a hardware store carrying a bunch of wood, as he's prone to do. He's annoyed to bump into his ex, who flaunts the fact that she is now engaged. Bryson works with Sal, and they are surprised to learn that the funding for the project that they're working on has been cut. But they need to get the project done on a budget for the Denver Chronicle for a feel-good Christmas story that they're wanting to do. The charity house they are working on will go to the town's principal. Sal tells Bryson that they need to bring Rose into the project to help finish it on time. Rose says no, but that's nothing. That's nothing that some brotherly guilt can't overcome. Rose, who is a designer, not an interior decorator,
No, don't call her that.
hasn't been home since her parents passed. If you've heard that before this season, stop me.
Good gosh.
Is not thrilled about the reunion with all of the holiday chaos. Rose drives into town and immediately bumps into Bryson and spills her coffee all over her shirt. Oh, and also Rose finds out that she's going to be staying in the same house as Bryson, and they also are going to be sharing a bathroom because, of course, they do. But hey, it's for a good cause, right? Rose and Bryson decide that they need to coexist to make this happen. There is plenty of eye-rolling, sarcastic comments. You love to see it. Rose finds herself pulling out some pretty stellar design moves, and there's even a home good ad thrown in here 4, 5, 6, 7 times throughout the movie. I love a good a product placement.
yeah.
So shout out to Home Goods.
Never
shout
been
out
in
to
a Home
Nutella.
Goods.
Nutella.
Nutella, shout out.
We do have one though in Greenville, right? Is that right by Frankie's? Is that a Home Goods?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe
What
it is now.
What is that? No, that's an at home. That's at home.
Very different.
Meanwhile, is it?
We have a Home Goods in Easley and one on Woodruff Road.
Wow.
There you
Where
go.
on Woodruff?
The at home is the one where
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
They're not
Where's
that
It's
different.
Marshalls and
Oh,
Home Goods.
that's right.
Yeah.
Right there
It's
in
a both and
right there in
situation.
whatchamacallit.
And what's in Greenridge?
Greenridge.
Whatchamacallit.
Meanwhile, Rose crosses paths with Katie, the local EMT's daughter, and her daughter Arabella, who are psyched about Rose taking on the project and share some tips on their family's style. All of that seems wonderful and heartwarming until Jake Hunter, the town reporter that's coming into town, shows up, and there's a bit of tension there.
Sure.
What's going on here, Jake? He is going to be capturing the moment, though, for whenever the Landrys show up to receive their house, but he has doubts that they're going to finish it on time until he hears that Rose is involved. Then he's like, oh, yeah, well, this is going to happen. Bryson opens up to Rose about his parents, which is why he's crashing at Sal's place to begin with. There's even a moment when Rose, at the Christmas tree farm, and she ends up talking to the Christmas tree farm guy about social media and whatnot. Gets a free tree, sponsorships. You love to see it. We didn't get a montage. This movie is everything. You got the paint splatters, you get the hammering, you got some bad Christmas music, and the surprising absence of decorating montage that are usually in these movies, but this is a home makeover movie, so we get a home makeover montage instead of some of the other stuff. The mayor checks in, only 5 days to go, and sees the place is still not where it needs to be, and he's getting real nervous. This is the Denver Chronicle. It's the Denver Chronicle we're talking about here, folks. But this team is not going to buckle under the pressure. This is nothing that some skating rink karaoke fun can't handle. That's what you do sometimes when you are up against it. You go and you skate. Rose and Bryson reminisce about high school, and they realize, I think, in this moment that there's something going on here between the two of them. But just when you think things are going smoothly, an icy branch falls and makes a hole in the roof. Wow, what a hole! What a hole! You hate to see it. Everybody's like, this is an absolute mess. Rose is like, this is awful, and Sal is like, hey, we're gonna get here. We're gonna get there. The Landry family then steps in and helps save the day for their own house. They come in and they say, hey, we can do things too. Have you heard about that? Even Jake from the Denver Chronicle, he puts his camera down to join in on the fun. We do get cookies here. You love to see that. And then Jake and Sal have a heartfelt conversation where they finally figure out what's going on here. There's childhood bully stuff, but they figure it out, and they're going to move past it and maybe move on to something new. In true dramatic fashion, Rose overhears Bryson's ex bragging about this newfound, like there's something going on between her and her ex or something, and she's like, this is awful. I'm so mad. It's a misunderstanding, everybody. We're going to be okay. The Landrys come and they see the thing, and this is amazing. And they finally kiss. You love to see it. We love a kiss. Sal and Jake, they don't kiss. But it is a happy ending for everyone in this movie. And that, my friends, was Deck the Walls.
We did it.
That's right. Hey,
Wait, there it is.
let's take a quick break. I don't have my headphones. They're in my backpack.
Wow.
You were, that's just, I put mine in
That's
for some
funny.
reason. And,
Yeah, look at you.
I know it was as early as we've ever gone with the title of it ever.
And Deck the Walls.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to this movie. We'll break it down with 4 segments here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking Deck the Walls today. We're breaking it down with 4 segments. We're going to start with the hot takes where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. Brian.
Yep.
What'd you think?
This one, I liked it. Stop me if you heard this every time we've reviewed a
liked
movie
it.
this year. I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. Pretty good dialogue. Danny Pellegrino, I don't know if he said it when he was on with us, or I've heard him on a couple of different shows this year. He said he wanted to set out to write like a classic Hallmark movie.
that on our
okay.
pod. Yeah.
And I feel like he did. And it did have some twists, and it did have some humor. It was sort of like a classic setup, but with Danny Pellegrino, with his twist on it and his personality. And it really came across. I thought it was, I think they should do more stuff like this, where like known personalities are in movies like this with classic storylines, classic actors, and it just sort of like elevates it a little bit. Wes, I don't know what's like this. He is so good in this like passive aggressive, nonchalant role. Like he really stood out to me in this role, and he was really, really funny. Wes is really like, I don't know. I've really liked the roles he's been playing, and him in this type of role was really fun. It felt a little small to me. It felt like we should have had some workers maybe in the house doing a little construction. It just was a really
No
small
budget. They lost the money.
That's right. Yeah, the money was gone. But I don't know. Just you should have a few people in there. It would have made it feel, I think, a little. It felt a little small. Is all it was. Was just having the same cast, the same handful of people in almost every scene. Just felt a little small for me. And also the misunderstanding was just absolutely redonkulous.
Redonkulous.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got a redonkulous coming in hot
Redonkulous.
there.
90s Christmas.
Yeah. And so that, I feel like that could, obviously that could have
He's
been.
giving 90s Christmas right now.
Giving it. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
giving Mary Poppins.
That's right. That's right.
So, but yeah, I liked it. Shout out to Home Goods and Nutella. Obviously, they
love to
earned it.
Seriously, put a sheet on that door.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, throw it over to you, Bram. What did you think?
Yeah, I like this one. Okay, it's probably towards the upper end of the middle, if that makes sense. So not quite cracking into the handful of movies that I think are above everything else, but towards the top of the middle. There's not a ton to critique about this movie. I just don't. It just the plot itself didn't connect with me as much as some of the other ones have. With the home makeover stuff that typically doesn't land for me. But the cast itself I thought was great. I thought that the two leads had great chemistry. I thought that Sal and the Denver Chronicle guy, I liked when they were together. My biggest critique of this movie is I just don't know what is going on over what the heck's going on at Hallmark. We have this setup where you have Sal and you have Denver Chronicle guy, and you think that there's going to be a kiss, and there's been this the pushback, and rightfully so, that Hallmark's kind of gone backwards, and it just
It was an opportune time to do things correctly.
I even said a joke to Dan. I was like, I can't believe Danny Pellegrino wrote a kiss into his own movie, and then they don't kiss, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Hallmark and in that regard.
But I wasn't surprised by that.
You really? You weren't?
It felt kind of natural that they didn't kiss. I felt like it would have been a little, not forced, but I was like, yeah, they did just start getting along.
Well, the problem is that you have two things happening at once. One is they've only really started talking for, a day or two at most.
Yeah.
But the flip side is he gets as much screen time as Wes Brown.
Yeah.
Danny Pellegrino is the co-lead. I'm sorry. Wes Brown and Ashley Greene are not the A couple. They're 1A and 2A. And so to have them stare outside of a beautifully decorated house, Sal and Jake to stare at each other in this movie and not kiss was crazy. It was crazy. They're two grown adults.
I hear what you're saying, but it also has never stopped Hallmark before.
Yeah, sure. And they do have history. They knew each other.
They've let B couples that have just met kiss all the time.
Yeah, but overall, I thought that the movie was swell, but maybe a little bit too safe. If I can have the critique, a little bit too safe. But overall, fine time.
Yeah, in the preview episodes, which are very important if you're new to Duck to Hallmark, go to listen to those. They mean a lot. We always talk about, especially me, I always talk about movies that have a high floor. Like a movie with Lacey and Chris Palaha has a high floor. Like Iceland, Lacey, Chris Palaha, there's no way to screw that up. This movie has a low ceiling. So it is a movie that...
because a branch fell through.
It is. This is a movie during the preview episode
for us.
On paper reads like an absolute 2012 super generic, super boring Hallmark Christmas movie. What it has going for it, its ace in the hole is Danny Pellegrino. The dialogue is snappy, it's quippy. Danny gets a lot of screen time in a role I would akin to Eminem being in 8 Mile, just like a hyperbolic version of himself, where he gets to basically play himself. They don't ask him to try to do too much as an actor, and he gets to deliver the lines that he wrote. And so it's clearly his baby, and that's wonderful. The problem is because the movie is so generic, I don't have many wait whats. He covers his bases as a writer. It's just such a low bar with no stakes. And I didn't find myself caring. I was disappointed that Sal and Jake didn't kiss, specifically in the current climate we find Hallmark Christmas movies. I thought Ashley Greene and Wes Brown were more than competent in their roles. But in the grand scheme of things, so many movies tried something way bigger than this. And so a movie like Holiday Crashers, a movie like 'Twas the Date, tries to be better. And even if they don't always succeed, they're trying something bigger and better than this. And so for me, right now, this is dead in the middle. This is right in the middle of my list, right around 15. And I think it is quippy. I love the fast dialogue. I love the banter. But it doesn't really aspire to do anything that would be memorable for a Hallmark movie. I will forget about this movie by next week. And so for me, it is a movie that doesn't have a lot of wait whats, but also doesn't have a lot of really great moments. And so just kind of meh for me.
It's time for all the feels, where we talk about what this movie gives feels. Brian.
Yeah, him putting that ceramic tree back together worked for me. And I was embarrassed that I didn't even think that it broke basically into two pieces. And then as I was typing, "Oh, that's so sweet. I can't believe you did that," I could hear Dan chirping next to me about, "It broke in two pieces, Brian." You just put the top back on, Brian. You put the top back on, Brian.
I was about to say, I'm all over the map today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it worked for me. I thought it was a really great thing. And then I was thinking
Two
about
pieces. Burger's 2 pieces.
so
cool.
I do have a backup feels though because I knew this would happen.
Yeah, you can take mine. Go ahead.
The music in this stood out. The music was awesome. There were so many songs
Yeah.
I wanted to Shazam, but I was watching it on my phone, so I couldn't do that at the same time. So I got to go
Big
back.
weekend for Dan and Shay.
Yeah, I kept thinking it was Rascal Flatts.
Dan and Shay.
Multiple songs by Dan and Shay this weekend.
So it's uncanny.
So yeah, the
Yeah.
music was awesome in this one.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to Home Goods and Nutella. It's
Yeah.
just good to be back. You know,
Yeah.
you think we've moved on past product placement, and then you get a movie like this that has Home Goods and Nutella just all over the
Yeah.
screen, and you love to see it. I love to see it. And as somebody who likes old Hallmark from time to time and dips back into those movies, to have a movie like this, which to Danny's point is a nod to some of those classic Hallmark movies, with also having classic brand injections into it. I loved it. I love to see it. More of that. If I can make one request, let's get back to the product placements.
That's a wild
because
request.
I
What a wild
it is
request.
fun.
love them.
It is
Dano?
Yeah, Home Alone 2 reference. The Home Alone 2 reference and the way it was done was the highlight of this movie for me. It's
What was the reference?
Bird Lady in Home Alone 2.
What's the bird lady?
It's this character in Home
Yeah?
Alone 2 that helps Kevin along his way.
Does she say anything?
She does. She says a bunch of stuff,
Like what?
including Kevin, run.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to take you saying that, but then put the clip over top of her saying it and see if people can even tell the difference.
There's no. It's like Brian doing an impression of me. It's
Yeah, you can't
identical. I just love that. Not only was that the reference, but he has it on his forehead, and she just says pigeon, and he gets it right. Highlight of the movie for me. I showed my kids Home Alone last weekend for the first time. Huge hit. They think it's the best movie of all time. So fair if you're 8 years old. Can't wait to show them Home Alone 2, the superior Home Alone.
That's right.
There you have it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the Way West and the What the Hallmark here on
Deck
the
the
Hallmark. We're back. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you're doing well today. I know I am.
Yeah. You
You?
look well.
Thank you.
Look well. Yeah.
I feel good. You
Yeah.
know,
Can tell.
it's a long season, and sometimes stuff comes
you
up.
did this one right.
I did this one right this year. I've been training all year for this. This is why we did the smoothies.
That's why you're doing a thing,
We
yeah.
did the smoothies
Yeah.
to get to this point, to feel good,
Yeah.
to play good, and to do
Look good,
right.
feel good, play good.
That's right.
Smoothies.
By the
Mission
way, I did
accomplished.
hear from my doctor. He said I should take up smoking.
You should take up smoking.
Phew. I
Oh,
was
thank
wondering about
goodness.
that.
We were on the fence
Yeah.
about that.
Let's
Yeah.
get back to the wait what. So we were talking about what in this movie made us go wait what. Brian?
Again, we have a hot beverage spill on somebody's, not bearskin, but fresh from the barista. And then, so it spills all over him, which that's scary enough. He just leaves after that. He doesn't even go get a refill, get another coffee.
It's like,
That
I guess this
blows
is
my-
over.
Yeah, I guess I'm done with this. Blows my mind.
But he runs. Does he run an Ashley Green who he's not seen in a long time? Like, isn't it this thing where he's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore? Like,
Maybe that's what maybe that's what it is. He just scares her
yeah,
away.
it'd be weird if you thought you were getting coffee and then got no coffee.
I'd be so
It
depressed.
seems like a very different type. It's like when 1 week Parlor didn't have any cold brew, and it was just like they didn't
What do you
have
do?
it.
Then what
It
do
was
you do? You
it's
sit there.
unbelievable. Instead of coffee, it was no coffee, and it was just like
Man, it was like Aaron just had to relive that. Just
the
the terror on
trauma.
her
it wasn't
face.
Aaron's fault.
That was it was just a
No,
bad day.
It was a tough day.
No, I
It's a
looked
tough
back over
day.
at her and it just
Yeah.
looked like she was just back in the thick of
Too
it.
soon,
Yeah.
man. It's too soon. So that's crazy to me. That his aunt's house is basically a B&B. The
It's
thing is
amazing.
huge.
Yes,
And
massive.
there's not another bathroom or another bedroom. Like they
Yeah.
have to share.
Yeah, I don't have many wait what's, but the fact that house has, I guess, 2 working bathrooms in
Yeah.
it is crazy.
It's concerning,
Yeah.
or maybe they're just playing games here. Maybe the aunt, maybe she did it on purpose, or she's like, we're getting them together. No way around it. So just a little, like, not even an explanation, I don't think, about why they're not using another bathroom. Was Bryson shoveling a pile of gravel in that house? he was in the dining room just shoveling a pile as tall as him of just rough gravel. Like, where is he shoveling it? What is that for? they're way behind schedule. If he's shoveling raw gravel in the middle of the living room, and then just they keep talking about the deadline, how close they are. They're 5 days from Christmas Eve, and they're still like nonchalant about getting to the stores. I'm like, these stores are closing down. Like, they're not going to have all this stuff that you need. So, but I guess that's the classic Christmas
Home Goods, I
trope.
believe, is always open late.
Open
around the
well,
holidays.
Home Goods is where we should go.
Yeah, Home
Phew.
Goods. is
What
where
about
you
if
should
I
go.
want some Nutella? Can I get that at Home Goods?
That's a good question.
I've never been in a Home Goods.
What?
I've literally never been in one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
a
don't,
great
I don't
store.
know if I've
Great store.
either.
Really? That's a good time. You should check it out.
We should do it for the vlog.
I've been to World Market, which is right next to Home
Well, I've
Goods.
been to World Market a number of times.
Check out Home Goods.
I've been to Marshalls.
Whenever
Similar.
we do our,
Similar.
my kids are watching Harry Potter right now. They have a bunch of Harry Potter candies at the World Market.
Well,
we
there you
go and we
go.
get it to watch the movie.
How about that?
So there you have it.
How about that?
Sounds like a business expense.
Yeah,
at
for
this
sure. I'm
point,
using
yeah.
the business credit card there. So worry about it. Come on.
For the Harry Potter.
Why even have it if I'm not going to use it for
Yeah,
Harry
with
Potter
your
movie
25%
party with
of the
my
business.
children?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait until you hear what the rest of the board thinks about that. I have a couple. Over the years, we've seen a lot of like Hallmark does weird things with video calls where it's like this, but
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But what I've never seen is something that I noticed in this movie where the first conversation that Sal and what's her name?
Rose, yeah, the sister.
have in this movie is over the phone. She's like this. He has it down on speaker. And when they hang up, it says video call ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's just,
It's a glitch.
it's just a glitch in the system. It's a glitch in the phone. Was
The
just
Matrix
like
glitched.
every call's a video call if you want it to be.
That's
so let's
right.
just say it, and then we'll be good to go. Another sound effect situation.
Yeah.
The branch
Yes.
falling in this movie.
Wild.
That branch might still be falling
Yeah,
to this day.
You can still hear it. All that ice cracking.
It was tough. It was a big branch, big sounds,
Big
Big
week.
week.
big week. Dano.
Yeah, Wes Brown's wearing a face mask in this movie, which great, good for him to moisturize, bro. And he's on the outside of that bathroom door, and he knocks on the door. And then
Yes.
when he walks into the door, that face mask transforms into a different face mask.
It's like the lighting or something.
It is. It's a It's they filmed the scene separately, and it doesn't look
That could've been it.
anywhere near the same. And it's one of these things that's so glaring in a movie that doesn't, quite frankly, have a lot of like inconsistencies. This one makes up for a lot of them because you see a close up of Wes Brown with that mask on, then he opens the bathroom door. And it is like he has changed into it's a different day, different face mask. It's crazy. And it takes you
It's
out of
a
the
new
movie.
day.
It's a new day, new dawn. It's a mask. He's feeling mask. He gets 4 hot coffees to take to work, and then he sees his ex and decides to sit down and give her a counseling session. And
Those things are
you want
warm.
to, I mean, just kill her. I mean, between Brian, I would say this we go about it very differently, but Brian and I both coffee snobs, and we like coffee a very specific way. I was dying on the inside for those coffees.
I've thought about it multiple times.
I just can't.
It's
like,
distracting.
You just either have to commit to being
There's
the
probably
guy.
whipped cream on those too.
No,
Those
don't
are the
say that. Don't
those
say
are the
that.
specials.
You can't say that. If you're going to be the guy that brings the coffee, you can't be the guy that also sits for a 15-minute conversation.
That's right.
It just no.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather not have coffee.
Yeah.
Like,
Just throw it at his
real
shirt.
tough. You mentioned this in your hot take. This is the worst misunderstanding of the year. Who at the coffee shop getting the
Those
getting
coffees are getting warm.
they get either you have someone that gives no information aside from I'll take my coffee, or they know the person and they give all the information.
Yeah.
Who knows someone just enough to go, this is for my ex. And what was the line? I don't remember the line, but like it's just enough to be confusing.
Oh yeah, like getting back together with
And,
my
like,
ex or something, trying to get
The
back with
rest
my
of
ex.
this movie, I don't know if Danny's listening or not, but as a writer of his first Hallmark movie, Danny did an excellent job of 1, making it funny, and 2, making a movie that doesn't have a lot of plot holes. This line reeks of he had something else in the script and they needed to short circuit it to get it where they needed to go, because it doesn't read like the rest of the script. It's like, who talks like that at a coffee shop and says it loud enough for 3 people back? This is for me and my ex.
Wink, wink.
My ex, these two coffees. It was tough. It was really hard to watch that scene. And for Ashley Greene to have to act it was also tough because, like, she's in a tough spot there. Nobody would do that. It didn't make any sense. That's all I got.
It's time for what the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe help get some clarity to any questions that we still have. What are we still wondering about? That's the big question right now. Brian, what are you still wondering about?
Yeah, so they were doing this for the principal, right?
That's right.
Who I assume was like an important figure in this community, which they sort of like, they insinuate a little bit, and they little mentions about here and there, but I kind of wanted more of that. Like, I feel like there was a big emotional aspect to this story that just wasn't touched upon, wasn't really expounded upon, wasn't really put into this overall story. It was just like how much this principal meant to this community, why they're doing this for the principal. Because to me, it's like renovating this house, it's almost like, yeah, whatever. But if the principal's a really important person, then you care about them, then you want them to finish the house. And so
No, I agree.
it was a little
I like
part
that.
that, I was like, I kind of wish they dug into that a little bit more.
I mean, I would just like to visit this roller skating rink.
That was
That
nice.
was
my
awesome.
gosh.
First of all, great roller skating rink.
Absolutely.
And they did have stuff in the middle of
Yeah.
the rink, but I imagine that they had some sort of battery-powered situation. No cords.
cords.
Everybody's going around.
Very
Looked
respectful.
great. Very respectful. But also, while that's going on, we got Christmas karaoke.
Sure did.
And this place just sounds wonderful, and I think it's something that we should consider opening. Roller skating rink / karaoke bar. I think that'd be a big hit, big smash hit. Even though there's a lot of great spots here in Greenville, it is missing a roller skating rink / karaoke
Christmas
bar.
theme.
So
Well,
maybe
Two
that's-
roller skating rinks in Greenville have been there since time began.
Take them out of business.
They're due for shakeup.
Yeah,
Well,
due for a shakeup.
Good for a shakeup.
Yeah.
They're due for a
Due
shakeup.
They're good
shake.
for it, too.
Yeah, they are good for it too.
Dana?
We're
Yeah,
good for
mine
it.
was the Sal and Jake not kissing at the end, and I think we've covered that plenty. So I think we're good there.
Aaron, this is your favorite movie of the year?
So far, yes.
Yeah, you've not seen a
excellent.
bunch, but yes.
Yeah, I will say, so over the last week and a half, I listened to both of Danny's books on audio.
Yeah.
And so I think just finishing his Christmas book and going into this movie, like reading his books, I was like, Danny and I would be really good friends. Like, we kind of grew up around the same things. A lot of things that he mentions in his book, I'm like, yes, I remember this from my childhood. You know, I really wanted this toy when I was a kid. And so going right into this, it just felt like I already knew Danny really well. I got to see this voice that I've been hearing for a week and a half. I got to see it on the screen. I haven't seen Chiefs or Christmas Quest or Finish Line yet, so, you know, changes could happen. But right now, I enjoyed this one the most. Wes Brown and Ashley Greene were great. I've already seen it twice.
I already watched it twice.
Love to see.
There you have it.
Did we get anything you want to correct? It's like what was it on PTI when they sent it to
What
the?
are we doing here?
Well, it's her favorite movie. It's her favorite movie,
Okay.
and I feel like it's important. If you know,
It's like Stat Boy?
Stat Boy.
I guess in the future for Deck the Walls 2, more Nutella,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stand by my opinion that I don't think they should have kissed at the end.
I think there was some
So,
disagreement in the chat on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I just think if you spend 30 plus years of your life thinking this guy hated you because you were gay, overnight you're not kissing him. Like,
Yeah.
you can understand that there is something there, but I think it's a lot to put that trauma aside and be like, all right, we're lovers now. No, you're not. Like, you need to work on that. So him saying, do you want to come inside and get to know each other better? I thought that was great. Give me Deck the Walls too. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I think
Danny, if you're listening,
I
Deck the
think
Walls
that
too.
that's
The
a,
Anster
I,
would
I
never.
like that. I also
I need Deck the
hear
Walls too.
I hear constantly like adults like kissing is not a big deal. Like that I think that was my thing is that I guess
Maybe down here in the South,
Hallmark's
but
world
up north.
a kiss in a Hallmark world would be a big step for someone that thought they were being bullied. So yeah, I guess in real life, I don't know, you know, but also I think it's just the fact that, and we said in the preview episode, there's just been a dearth of content that we thought we would get this year.
He
that,
did it.
That
Yeah, no,
helps push forward something that we need to see, which is inclusivity and representation. We just don't have enough of it.
No, I
So,
agree. And
Well, we got the
for most of
pancakes.
the movie, like when I just
Justice
thought
for
that this was
waffles.
a guy he didn't like, I was like,
Yeah,
they're gonna end
yeah,
up
yeah.
together. And then when I found out there was a bullying component,
Yeah.
and when I found out Danny's character had thought it was because he was gay, I was like, yeah, maybe we should, work through that a little bit before we just say, oh, it's
fair.
okay.
It's fair. It's fair, everyone. That's what we're trying to say, and we're gonna be back tomorrow. So another thing we're trying
I'm
to say
loving this voice.
So-
with
Another thing.
the finish
Oh,
line.
cool.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
We should have
big
put
day.
it last, so we could have done a whole like we're going to the finish line.
Makes
but we
sense, so
didn't.
much
It's
sense.
tomorrow.
Next year.
Big week. It's a big week.
Come on back
Well,
tomorrow.
believe
Friday.
in Christmas is last this or no. Yeah,
Finish
believe
line
in-
Friday, right?
Believe in
Finish line
Christmas
Friday.
is last
That's
this
what we
week
call it.
because you don't